Tiffany Haddish has always been open about how obsessed she is with having kids of her own.
Babies, when you're gonna drop some babies, and there's a part of me that would like to do that, and I always make up these excuses.
But she recently made a heartbreaking announcement about having 8 miscarriages and how hard it has been for her to deal with it. But then people have been poking a lot of holes in her story, and well, let's just say the math is not mathing. Did her ex-husband expose her for lying about the miscarriages? So Tiffany Haddish recently came out to admit something totally heartbreaking, and that's the fact that she has been trying to be a mom for years, but it hasn't been working fine for her. She revealed that she recently had her 8th miscarriage. Having 1 miscarriage is bad enough, but having 8 is nothing short of being a nightmare. And I can't even begin to imagine what Tiffany has been going through. She made the revelation in a recent interview she did with the Washington Post, where she said, "Well, I'm going to be honest with you, this would be my 8th one. I've got a uterus shaped like a heart. It just won't keep anything in." So it sounds like there is an issue with her uterus being differently shaped, and unfortunately, the shape means that her body finds it difficult and so far impossible to carry a baby to full term. She also spoke to E! News about how hurt she was about the miscarriages. She said, "Those miscarriages were painful AF. I feel like a piece of my soul died every time. I don't know if I'm capable, and I feel like that was God's birth control telling me he is not the one. That is not who you're supposed to be having a baby with." Yeah, I don't even want to imagine her going through this 8 times. And if you're wondering why she has kept the news of her miscarriages quiet the first 7 times and why she is just now talking about it, well, it's because she didn't want to deal with the BS that she knew she was probably going to get from people online if she opened up about it. I mean, we've seen this happen a couple of times when women get dragged and shamed online for daring to talk about their miscarriages instead of hiding and pretending like it didn't happen. So I don't think anyone can blame her for not wanting to deal with all that hate in addition to grieving her loss. She also revealed that she kept it private because she didn't want pity saying, "I didn't want people saying, 'Are you okay? Are you alright?' Like a wounded animal. I just rather go in a cave by myself, lick my wounds." Now, people have had very different reactions to her revelations. While some people feel very sorry for her and wish her well in her next pregnancy, other people have asked her to stop putting her body through so much stress and trauma. She's obviously a very strong woman, but there's no way her body has not been taking a ton of stress from this. Then there are other people who are just after the tea and have been wondering who her baby daddy is. The last person she was publicly linked to is rapper Common, and they've been broken up for a while now, and he is now dating singer Jennifer Hudson. So unless she and Common have been sneaking around behind J Hud's back, which is unlikely, he is not her baby daddy. But back to Tiffany. Well, many people are not here for this revelation, and some are even saying it's the universe's way of giving her a good old dose of karma. And if you're wondering why on earth people would feel like Tiffany deserves some karma, it's all because of the fact that she was exposed for being very inappropriate to kids. Even though she only got exposed in 2022, the issue goes way back a couple of years before that. The lawsuit was brought against Tiffany by 2 siblings who chose to go under the pseudonym Jane and John Doe, who claim that she did some inappropriate things to them when they were kids. Tiffany was a good friend of the kids' parents, and she told the parents that she had helped both kids secure acting gigs through her contact in Hollywood, but things did not go as expected. For Jane, Tiffany wanted her to act out giving a you-know-what to a sandwich on camera, and Tiffany even demonstrated how to do it, even though the girl was only 14 at the time. When Jane couldn't bring herself to do it, Tiffany got mad and sent her away. But Tiffany didn't stop there because she also had the boy John film a very disturbing skit with comedian Aries Spears. The skit was titled "The Mind of a Child Ped," and I think that tells us a lot about the skit. Tiffany and Aries had the little boy take off his clothes and do things like get in the bathtub with Aries and other stuff. The skit was honestly kind of weird and disturbing, and John did not like this because he felt creeped out. According to court documents, he said, "I had to kick and scream and cry. When I kept crying, Tiffany got mad at me, told me to get dressed, and took me home. I remember her yelling at me in the car, telling me that I would never get on TV acting like that." So not only did she put literal children in a very creepy and uncomfortable place, but she also yelled and kind of bullied them as well, which is just nasty work. The case eventually got dismissed without prejudice, and this means that it can never be brought up again. But that wasn't the only time that Tiffany was accused of being super inappropriate, because she also admitted to pushing a woman into the adult movie industry. Even worse, the woman was an undocumented immigrant, and Tiffany revealed that she had also gotten the woman roughed up before trying to get her deported by immigration.
Taking her from him, and basically I became her agent and had her doing
That's a beautiful way to say it.
and she was getting more money or whatever. I was like, so I ended up getting kind of involved in like the world, but I wasn't in, but I was providing the talents.
What was that like?
It was
Short-lived, long-lived?
Very short-lived.
Oh.
Very short-lived. I ended up beating her up, and
oh wait, like physically?
yeah, I ended up stomping her out.
What was that?
And I called immigrations on her, tried to get her deported.
Stop.
So when people talked about Tiffany's miscarriage possibly being karma, that is what they were talking about. But then some people don't believe Tiffany's story, and they are calling BS on the entire story. Now, if you've followed Tiffany for some time, then you'll know how desperately she wants to be a mom. She has always talked about this, and she even revealed that she definitely wants to adopt or maybe foster kids somewhere down the line.
It was always like kind of a goal, never to like have children come out my body, but to have foster kids. I want to get foster kids and then adopt. That's what I want to do.
So she has said it out of her own mouth on camera that she doesn't want to give birth to kids of her own, which is totally fine, but it doesn't add up with her story of miscarriages. I mean, if she doesn't want kids, then why on earth would she get pregnant not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 8 times? Also, she was super serious about not having kids of her own because she said the same thing in other interviews more than once. In an interview with Daily Pop, she reveals that she had a very clear idea of the kids she wanted to adopt. She said, "I'm looking at, 5 and up, really like 7. I want them to be able to know how to use the restroom on their own and talk. I want them to know that I put in the work and I wanted them." In another interview, she said this:
I want a Josephine Bakery. Give me a little variety pack.
She pretty much said the same thing in a Vlad TV interview.
I think I'm gonna adopt. I'll probably adopt a bunch of kids. I'll probably do like Josephine Baker and get me like, a rainbow tribe. Give me a little white baby, a little black baby, a Spanish baby, an Asian baby, and raise them all to be strong black men.
So why wouldn't she adopt instead of putting her body through the nightmare of having 8 miscarriages? And that is why some people believe that her story of miscarriages is a lie. They believe that she is only trying to get pity because she has been getting a ton of negative press lately, and she hopes that she'll get enough pity to end the hate train once and for all. Oh, and there's the fact that she has been caught lying about a miscarriage in the past. In her biography, The Last Unicorn, she claimed that an ex-husband of hers was responsible for the death of their unborn child, which would be one of her first miscarriages. Now, Tiffany didn't name the ex in particular, but she has only been married once to a man named William Stewart. Well, William came out to expose her for lying about him and the miscarriage, claiming that Tiffany went to the doctor and got rid of the baby on purpose. So yeah, it goes without saying that people feel different types of ways about Tiffany's claims, and they left comments saying, "This is why it's important to actually hire a good PR coach. She's a walking contradiction, and in your everyday life, that's fine, but as a celeb, it looks really sus, especially when you're talking about wanting kids, having several miscarriages, only to turn around and say, 'I don't want a baby to come out of me.'" After witnessing that video she did with the little boy, her with a child is endangerment. She did what they did in The Sound of Freedom. And darn, Tiffany Haddish had 8 miscarriages? Jesus, I just know that's traumatic as heck. But I want to know where you guys stand on this drama. Do you think that Tiffany was telling the truth, or do you think she's just looking for sympathy? Let me know what you think about this insane situation, and then check out this next video.